To the extent that the Steelers are shedding any tears about having to go to Buffalo to start the season, the Browns are saying boo-hoo, and they're playing the tiny little violin because they have to go to Kansas City to start the season. Here's Baker Mayfield, the Browns quarterback, talking about the confidence that he has in his team's offense.
For us, like I keep saying, it's just about doing our job. You know, we have the bread and butter, the fundamentals, the schemes that we know we're good at, and we need to keep building off of those and do those extremely well. And so, you know, when we have our shots, take advantage, no negative plays. But yeah, it's about doing our job efficiently. So hopefully we do hit the ground running. That's the goal.
They need to, and they've got the weapons. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt in the backfield, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. They've got some great tight ends. The one thing I'm going to continue to watch for and listen for, that narrative that used to be such a big part of the Browns, got to get the ball to OBJ, got to get the ball to OBJ. Last year, before he suffered the torn ACL, Coach Kevin Stefanski was finding creative ways to get the ball in his hands. Bubble screens, reverses, put him in the backfield.
Right.
You can get the ball in his hands without saying we're going to force the ball to him into coverage because the defenses know what's coming. So OBJ needs to accept that he's just a piece of the puzzle, just like all the receivers in Tampa. Accept that you're just part of it, and no talking about, did I get the ball enough? If you lose, well, if I would have gotten the ball more, maybe we would have won. No, I don't want to hear that from anybody, from OBJ or anyone else. He just needs to be one of the guys, and I think that's the thing that could help the Browns get to the next level if he's healthy and if he is the guy he was before he had the injury.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Mike, 100%. Check your ego at the door, right? Check it at the door and have faith in Stefanski, who's shown that he can get two receivers off in a given season, right? I mean, he was in Minnesota, and Thielen and Diggs were both statistically kicking butt. And even, you know, with Gary Kubiak, they were running a similar system last year in Minnesota. They got Justin Jefferson and Thielen both off as well. That can happen here. Of course, with this offensive line and this running game, hey, I think the Browns are for real. I think they have finally arrived. And one thing I just look at, of course, hey, they were close to beating them in that divisional playoff game. You know, I know it might have been a little different with Patrick Mahomes, but still, they were moving the ball regardless. Patrick Mahomes doesn't play in defense either. So there's that aspect. And the one thing that just, you know, they're hungry. There seems to be a good vibe and a selflessness about the team right now. They added the right pieces to their roster. And here's the one thing that jumps out to me about them a little bit, you know, that where I'm picking the Browns to go to the Super Bowl and beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, a little for this reason. We know the Chiefs' offense is awesome, but now the Browns should be a team that can get after the quarterback with a front four, right, and not have to blitz and compromise themselves. But also, I think the other thing I look at, that running game, Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, he is special as far as creativity, disguises, and all that. But like we saw last year in the Super Bowl a little bit, when he has to worry about his defensive line being pushed around and overpowered a little bit, and that happened a few times in the Super Bowl game with Leonard Fournette and that big Bucs O-line, he's got to start playing defenses to worry about that and stopping the run, and it takes away his great pass game coverage creativity. And that's where I think the Browns have a real advantage. I expect the game to be close. The Chiefs are a better football team. I don't know if the Browns pull off the upset this week, but I think either way, it's going to give them confidence to go, hey, we can play with these guys, and if we see them later, watch out. I expect it to at least be a real close football game.
After we finish the show today and before they force Chris to walk the plank off of the pirate ship, we will be taping our joint Mega Picks podcast where we make our selections for every game straight up and against the spread. One last thing about the Browns, and this is real. We had some folks over last night, sat outside on the patio and watched the game. The Browns is still the prevailing narrative, and there are people who don't believe. Now, predominantly Steelers fans are the ones who were over here last night, but and they can work that to their advantage. Good. Let people think we're still the team that was so pathetic in recent years, because they are anything but that now, and the NFL is going to see even more, I believe, of what they saw last year from the Browns.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.